When did the first issues of Obama's eligibility come up?
Oh, immediately. You know, we were getting hit with so many things about Obama. I mean, this is when, you know, Ayers and Khalidi and all of it, and then all of a sudden, oh, he's not eligible to be president. The Clintons started it. It started, and everybody who has called this a conspiracy from the Republicans or the Tea Party, they need to know who started it. The Democrats. It was Hillary and Bill, and it percolated up from there. Bill Clinton would make references to it. He would, you know, he would say it. He would go on camera and jokingly make comments about, you know, is Obama qualified to be president? Well, if he's 35 and a wink, wink, United States citizen, I guess he's qualified.
So just to be clear, you're saying that the Clintons may know that we're not hiding that their concerns that Obama was not eligible. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did the Clintons stop attacking Obama on eligibility?
In the world that we were in with her superdelegates and delegates, it just was, he's not legit. That's the end of it, period, end of story. It wasn't up for discussion. We were always told that Bill was going to tell the truth. You know, just wait, Bill's going to tell everybody. Bill's going to tell the truth. Bill Gwatney was killed.
Who was he?
Chairman of the Arkansas Democratic Party and a Hillary superdelegate.
And what relationship did he have to Bill and Hillary?
From what I heard, Bill's best friend.
And what happened to him?
He was sitting in his office and someone came in and shot him, killed him, ran out, and then the perp got killed and there was no motive. The person was killed, there was never a motive, and I was told that that was, shut up, Bill, or you're next.
Shut up about what?
Obama's birth certificate.
And were there any further threats that you heard made against the Clintons?
Well, then this woman told me that Bill, you know, who probably doesn't take threats too lightly or too seriously, was going to do it anyway. And then they went in and said, okay, it's your daughter now that we'll go after. And then Bill never said anything.
And the threat was in relationship to if the Clintons continued discussing Obama's eligibility and birth certificate?
Yes.
Michelle, you were involved in the 2008 campaign for the Democratic Party, is that correct?
That's correct.
What role did you play?
Initially, I was just a volunteer for the Hillary Clinton campaign. I had gone to Nevada, and I'd also gone to Pennsylvania. And I was also going to her call center in Los Angeles at least 3 times a week for about 8 months, and I made thousands of calls for her. After what I had witnessed on the campaign and learning through what other people were experiencing, I was absolutely appalled by the voter fraud that was occurring as a result of the Obama campaign. I saw in Nevada when I went the Obama campaign people basically stealing the caucuses. They were throwing away votes. They were intimidating Hillary people from even getting into the place to vote. It was very systematic. They were like tearing up votes. They got basically control over the caucus packets, and they manipulated the vote from there. And I had gone to Pennsylvania, and I met a lot of other volunteers that were telling stories very similar, that were experiencing things all across the states. I couldn't believe the media was not reporting on the obvious fraud that they were witnessing themselves. I mean, like, everyone knew the Obama campaign was stealing the election. The head of the DNC was Howard Dean at that time, and Nancy Pelosi, in her leadership role as Speaker of the House, were allowing it to happen. And they were changing the rules as the primary went along. It was very systematic from the leadership of the Democratic Party that they were never going to let Hillary win the nomination. And it did not matter what the people were voting for. In June, the Democratic Party and the media declared Obama the winner of the nomination, when he, in fact, did not have enough delegates to actually win the nomination. And the Hillary people knew that. And in fact, they were only about 14 delegates apart if they were to actually have counted Florida and Michigan fully. When Howard Dean went on the news and he said that they were not going to put her name into nomination and allow the delegates to vote at the convention, and they were going to have Obama get the nomination by unanimous acclamation, that is when I was appalled that that could even happen. And I actually took 3 months off and spent my own money and worked with volunteers all throughout the states to somehow force Hillary's name into nomination. Well, we learned from a lady in Texas who had read the 500-page DNC convention rules document that there was a way to get her name into nomination if we got 300 of her delegates to sign a petition.
Let's take a look at one of the petitions here.
Okay.
You can tell me what's constructed on it. I mean, you'll see, what is the first part about?
Okay, the first part about it is it's basically a petition in support of the floor nomination of Hillary Rodham Clinton for the President of the United States. And so each person, depending on what state they came from, they wrote down their congressional district, they signed it, and on this piece down here, this is something that I had devised with a woman that was a notary. So they had to take this petition, print out 2 of them, sign both of them, take it to a notary. And if you look at all of these petitions, each person had a different stamped notary from wherever they were from.
So you couldn't disqualify it based upon some discrepancy in the signature, is that?
That is correct. And I also made them sign 2 of them, send one to a P.O. box, and in case something happened in the P.O. box, I had them bring it individually, the other one, to the convention, so that there was no way the DNC or the Obama campaign and his lawyers could knock my signatures off this petition. To submit the petition, we had to have a superdelegate sign another piece of paper that my lawyer had devised, and they were the ones that would actually nominate Hillary's name officially to the convention floor. And we had been talking to, at the time, the Congresswoman from Ohio, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, who was an African-American lady who had campaigned for Hillary from the beginning to the end, and she never wavered in her support, even though she had major threats from the Obama campaign and through the black community that she needed to switch her support.
And so what happened then?
Well, unfortunately, Stephanie Tubbs Jones died of a supposed brain aneurysm 2 weeks before the convention.
So what did you do in response?
We had been contacting state party chairs in every state, and the state party chair is basically head of the delegation that goes into the convention. And not one state party chair got back to us except Bill Gwatney, who was the state party chair of Arkansas. And he had said that he was going to support our petition, he was going to have the delegation sign it, all of them, and that they were going to go into Arkansas, which is one of the first letters of the roll call to be called, and they were going to all vote for Hillary on the first ballot.
And what happened?
He was murdered the next day.
And what happened to the perpetrator of that crime?
He was killed right after by the Arkansas state troopers.
So it sounds like you're saying that you're accusing that the Obama people would go to murder to advance their goals.
Well, we found it quite a coincidence that Bill Gwatney was murdered the day after we talked to him, after he supported our petition, and 2 days later, Stephanie Tubbs Jones was found dead of a brain aneurysm.